what's going on. So I'm going to talk about why all money is controlling, and it always will be. And this is my belief, and I don't care, because it's always been the same. It's never changed. It's always been the same ever since I've actually got money, which you could say would be my first job. And it's slavery too, which is the same thing as controlling people, and it always will be, and it always was, the whole thing of money. I don't see it. Maybe it could work some way, but nonetheless, I'm just going off the top. But some of these thoughts have reoccurred. Whereas, this is simple. This is not rocket science. This is very simple to understand that all money, stop sending me messages, all money is controlling, and it always was. Why? Because whoever has the most money controls everything that goes down below that doesn't have that much money, and it always will be. Now, majority of the people, it's very simple. It's not hard to understand at all that you're being controlled, and always were. When it comes to money, which influence so many things because we are a money-based economy. So, when the majority of people are poor because majority of people don't have money, so they have to spend all their time, their resources and energy, which they don't have resources or energy usually, they have to spend that into getting money. And then you're shitting, peeing, eating, showering, bathing, and maybe doing and sleeping and doing whatever other little activity that you are doing outside of working for money, because it's a scam. They want you to be working all the time, so you're not focused on the bigger picture, which is the money controlling you, and it always will be money controlling you, because there's no other way for it to really happen when it comes to money. That's why you don't see them. You don't see where your food comes from, most people, and you don't see where anything comes from, second of all. And they don't want you to see it, and they don't want you to know about things. So, because money's not even a real thing, and I'm going to put it in perspectives too, a couple examples, but I have one on the top of my head that I just thought of, like literally, and I'm going to expand it. But these people with the most money, they can control anything. Let's just say that that somebody was pissing them off. Well, and somebody who's a billionaire that has the most money in the world. Well, guess what? Someone's pissing them off, and let's just say they can't do nothing about it. Well, you know what they can do? They can hire people there will be someone that will do it for money to kill that person, and it won't be in their hands anymore. Here's another example. First of all, the biggest thing is they're controlling all the money. The same thing with energy. They're controlling all the energy. And I'm going to go on to say a banana. See, a lot of the things you don't hear about, you can't Google about, you can't read statistics about, there's no research about, is because they don't want you to know it. That's why you can't find that shit. And you never will, because they don't want you to know. So, let's just say bananas are for free. And let's say someone was handing out on an island, everybody gets bananas on the island for free because they're fucking free. They're right there. And bananas are a source of energy too. Someone comes with $1 billion, buys the island, whether the person wants to do it or not, he's going to be forced into doing it through the money, through the politics, through corruption, and through the people. Or he'll get people to invade, basically, usually because of the money. Maybe there might be something else when it comes there. But let's just say he got the banana plantation. Now he's selling bananas. He's selling bananas. Hold up. These bananas were free. Now he's selling bananas. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to talk about this, especially people who are, have heavy publicity. It's all a scam, and it always will be. When you're broke, you can't do shit. I want to save it for another video, which I am. It's going to be your whole life is about freedom, because it is. And it always will be. So that's all I have to say about money. And I don't really care. I mean, it'd be nice to hear other people's thoughts and opinions, but other people say they just feed into it like, oh, well, I guess I got to do it. I have to do it. But most people don't even think about it because they don't have time, or even want to give it, ignorance is a bliss. Especially families that have a kid, and single mothers or fathers that have kids, they don't have any time at all. Just think about it, because the way the apartments are, housing, just the rent, and buying, and the mortgage, and the taxes, and the interest, and the scams, because it's all scams. It's lies built upon lies. That's how lies work. You have to create more lies for it to happen with everything. And so, as you can see, the snowball effect, when you pay for these expensive apartments and housing, and then you have to buy food, then you have to buy gas, then you need a phone bill, then you need to pay for internet, then you need to pay for water, trash, sewage, so many other things. You know what I mean? It's a scam, because all this stuff's for free and it's right there. But somebody with money took control over all the companies or the people who are producing this stuff and forced them to sell it, basically. That's all it is. It's all a scam. And if you want to know the number one war, how to start a war with anybody, and it doesn't have to be a war with guns, war with spears, fist fighting, cyber, none of that, actually. The way they do wars now is completely different than what you would think a war is. A war is when you enslave somebody. And you don't even have to beat them physically. It's not even like that anymore. It's more so mentally, all the time, basically. And I was gonna say, it's just the way they do it. How you're distracted all the time by doing things and having to make money and paying for these costs of living and all these energies that are for free. They're making you pay for them. There's no debate about this, because it's free. And they're making you pay for them. And especially if you're poor, what are you going to do all the time? A, you're going to think of, how am I going to escape this poorness? B, how can I get money to get out of this poorness so I don't have to can earn money fast and easily, which those are the first steps you would think when it comes to money, if you actually have some logic in you. And a lot of people come up to later in life, but it doesn't matter. And as you can see, this is just all enslavement, just in a whole different way, because they're making you go after things that are realistically free. And then don't even get me started on the hunting rules, building the ordinances, what you're allowed to build, what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to grow, what you're allowed to hunt. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Licenses for this and that. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of bullshit. And that's all I have to say, because it's just going to sound redundant, and I'd have to think a little bit more clear on examples, but you get the gist of it. And it will always be that way until you do something about it. And I'm going to do something about it. Have a nice day.